There was somebody chasing your car also once, right?
Yeah.
Car to car pitching.
Meaning? How?
It's crazy.
कहाँ से? But how are they pitching if they're in a car?
सर एक बात करनी है, अब सुन लीजिए, सर एक बात करनी है.
Like driving next to him and trying to stop him.
Sharks, welcome to Film Companion. I am going to start with a confession. Okay, so of course I'm a film critic, I'm a film journalist, lekin I'm also an entrepreneur, right? Because I run my own platform, Film Companion. तो मेरा hidden agenda यहाँ है कि spending half an hour with you guys, some wisdom will just, come to me and I will be a better entrepreneur.
I
at the
thought
end
you
of
were
it.
going to confess that you haven't watched a single episode of Shark Tank season 1. That's not the case, right?
Of course they can. Of course they can. And it's so much fun. And I think the secret sauce is कि deals उसी वक्त हो रही हैं. क्योंकि वो होता है, then you don't have to wait कि अगले episode क्या होगा ये उसी वक्त you guys are either saying yes or no, and that is मतलब that's brutal, it's difficult, but it's also great entertainment.
Are you sure you want only wisdom or funding also? I have to decide if I'm in or out.
No entrepreneur ever says no to funding.
I have to say I need wisdom more than funding.
All right, then we can.
She's like मैं तुम्हें fund कर सकती हूँ.
He may still take advisory equity.
Then we can continue this.
Thank you.
Because we've run out of money now.
That's right. You've just spent it all, right?
Yeah.
You've given it all away. I'm going to start by asking few questions that I want all of you to answer. So what do you like most about being a shark?
My co-sharks, I love hanging with them. Made great friends.
We don't feel the same, but.
Peyush Mittal.
I think
Especially Amit.
the wisdom and the knowledge, I'm learning a lot about what's happening in India and how things will change maybe in the next 5 years. That I think I love the most.
I don't have that problem because I already know it.
He's on the learning curve. You're already there.
Sarvagyani. Anupam Baba.
For you.
शार्क बनने में मेरे को बड़े कमाल के एंटरप्रेन्योर से मिलने का मौका मिलता है और यहाँ पर 6 शार्क हम बैठते हैं तो अलग अलग नज़रिया भी मिलता है उसी सेम पॉइंट पे सेम बिजनेस पे 6 डिफरेंट व्यूज भी दिखते हैं तो उससे कहीं आप सीखते हो और मैं क्योंकि ऑटोमोबाइल कैटेगरी से आता हूँ कार देखो में तो मेरा जो नॉलेज था बाकी कैटेगरीज में कम था इस शो के जरिए मैंने लर्न भी किया तो लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस रहा बहुत बढ़िया.
So here are 2 learners and there's the Sarvgyani.
And that's our friend.
Yeah, look, I know it's a rapid fire, but I just want to make one quick point. As founders, entrepreneurs, हम जब थोड़े successful हो जाते हैं, तो एक खुद की दुनिया बन जाती है. जिस वजह से हम successful हुए, that is understanding people's needs and solving them. वहाँ से थोड़ा अलग हो जाते हैं because you get surrounded by people in your car, home, office. And for me, I think Shark Tank, India gave me that opportunity क्योंकि अभी हम पहचाने जाते हैं सब जगह, तो लोग आके बातें करते हैं. तो we can talk to them, कहाँ से हो आप, क्या करते हो, आपकी भावनाएं क्या हैं, उमंगे क्या हैं. तो एक बार फिर ज़मीन के साथ जुड़ गए हैं, भारत से जुड़ गए हैं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है. So I think that's been one added benefit.
आपने जो कहा ना कि people come up and talk to you. I want to know what's the strangest place someone's pitched to you? क्योंकि I'm sure you guys are getting pitched to everywhere.
Public washroom.
Really?
Same.
At a hotel washroom. Somebody came and spoke to me about her business and wanted my card, and it was just I was like, I can't run away anywhere.
Were you?
No, I wasn't peeing. I was washing hands. Women's washrooms are different from men's, right?
I haven't been in one. Or at least I wouldn't say I have been in one on camera.
Peyush, you also in the washroom?
Yeah, so I just landed in Singapore and I was using the public toilet washroom and somebody came and started.
Can you demonstrate how?
No,
So this man standing next to you.
Yeah. So when I came out and I was washing my hands, he said, first I want a selfie. And then I thought maybe you want a selfie outside the washroom or inside. He said यहीं लेनी है. तो वहाँ ले लिया selfie. Then he said कि मेरे पास एक idea भी है. तो मैंने कहा बाहर जाके बात कर ले, but he was too impatient. उसने कहा आप यहीं सुन लो, इससे पहले आप गायब हो जाओ.
आइडिया अच्छा
And this
था,
was like, हाँ,
आइडिया अच्छा था.
मैं खाली बाथरूम के सराउंडिंग्स को थोड़ा सा ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था. आइडिया तो
Yeah.
बाद में आता. और इतने वॉशरूम में और भी लोग आ गए, तो आई वाज फीलिंग अ लिटिल एम्बैरेस्ड कि एक तरफ मैं वॉशरूम में खड़े होकर सेल्फी ले रहा हूँ और अब मैं आइडिया सुन रहा हूँ. तो and I just landed. I had a big luggage and everything. And it
That's
was like
hilarious.
7 a.m. in the morning.
Anupam, for you?
You know, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं उछल के आ रही है. These people attract people in the bathrooms. मेरे साथ ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं. But I think elevator pitch has actually become literal. I have not taken an elevator ride, I don't know in how long, without somebody pitching. Right? कोई ना कोई मिल ही जाता है elevator.
There was somebody chasing your car also once,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Car to car pitching.
Meaning? How?
It's crazy.
कहाँ से? But how are they pitching if they're in a car?
सर एक बात करनी है, अब सुन लीजिए. सर एक बात करनी है.
Like driving next to him and trying to stop him. Wow.
Once I was in the car, there was a driver driving the car. I was in the next seat, and somebody waved me
Huh.
from the next car through the window. I also waved back. मैंने कहा भी इसने पहचान लिया. Then I forgot about it, and after 15 minutes, I reached home. I got out of the car, and this guy was behind me. Right? And then he came out and he started pitching to me right outside my house. And my wife is like, what is this?
Amit, you're ready for all of this, na? This is your first
मेरा
season.
हो चुका. अभी मैं गया था लास्ट वीक गोलगप्पे खाने. मेरे शाख का अनाउंसमेंट हुआ. जयपुर थोड़ा छोटा शहर भी है जहाँ से मैं आता हूँ. गोलगप्पे की दुकान में गया था, वहाँ पर पिच चालू कर दी 2 स्टूडेंट ने मेरे को. लिटरली मैं एकदम शॉक हो गया क्या चल रहा है, क्योंकि मेरे को तो आदत ही नहीं है सबकी. इनका तो खैर काफी एक साल
आगे आगे देखो होता है क्या.
Correct.
फर्स्ट पिच हो चुकी मेरी गोलगप्पे की दुकान पे.
आपका मुंह भरा हुआ है गोलगप्पे से और वो पिच कर रहा है तो
करेक्ट. ये चल रहा था लिटरली अभी.
But you know, so many times happens that this sentence and are you Namita Thapar? And I'm like, मैं विनीता हूँ, नमिता फार्मा वाली है, मैं शुगर वाली हूँ. So I'm gonna get a T-shirt for myself, not Namita Thapar.
That's right.
देखो कितनी स्मार्ट है, अपनी ब्रांड डाल ही दी उसने.
Correct.
Always selling.
What is your relationship with money? Amit, let's start with.
मनी से क्या रिलेशनशिप है मेरा?
वाओ दैट्स
अच्छा डीप क्वेश्चन है. थोड़ा एक सेकंड तो दीजिए. एक्चुअली मेरा मनी से कोई विशेष लगाव है ही नहीं. मेरे को खुशियाँ ज़्यादा पसंद है. तो आई एम से indifferent to money.
Well,
Wow.
I'm still thinking. Nobody has ever asked me this, by the way, but it definitely, yeah. I'm blank, man. I don't know what to say. I never really thought I'm going to introspect. Why don't I let Anupam answer?
One less thing to think of. One less thing to think of.
Nice. Yeah.
For
Vineeta?
me, it's freedom to dream and fail, and impact. 2 things.
I think it is never clear that why you have the money that you have, and why the ones who don't. It's not necessarily to me yet clear in my head who decides that, because it's not necessarily, while one may take all the credit for it. There is a level of privilege that you're born with, destiny, for a large part of it, and
Good
then
point.
you can optimize to it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And with great privilege comes great responsibility.
Yes.
मैं आपको एक अपने खुद का एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. हम जॉइंट फैमिली हैं, जयपुर में रहते हैं. हमारे जब पैसे कम थे तो क्या एक ही टीवी होता था. जब कंस्ट्रेंट होता है ना मनी का, तो परिवार के ज़्यादा जुड़ के रहते हैं. मेरा तो उल्टा मानना है कि ज़्यादा पैसे है ना आपको इस कन्वीनियंस की तरफ ले जाते हैं जहाँ आप इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक हो जाते हैं. मेरा तो काफ़ी मानना है कि एक मनी को संभाल के जब आता है पैसा बहुत सारा, उसको कंट्रोल के साथ अपना पारिवारिक संतुलन बना के रखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है.
Yep. Vineeta, what keeps you awake at night?
Apart from my kids.
That was going to be my response.
Oh, Dekho, that was happens after 2 seasons. We start taking each other's lines and preempting them. What keeps me awake at night is not much actually. I sleep very well.
Nice.
I actually sleep very well.
Anupam, for you?
Am I thinking big enough? Am I having the impact that I should be having? So yeah, that's something I think about. And oh no, I should not say it on camera.
Peyush,
Usually, I think parents help that they are fine, and with so much happening, you keep hearing a news like a bad news here or there. I think that's always something that plays on the mind, right? That thank God for keeping it all safe and keep it safe tomorrow also.
Yeah. Amit?
my dreams keep me awake. मैं बहुत बड़ा impact create करना चाहता हूँ. It's not about money. I just want to have a large impact on this country we are building. मेरा मानना है कि मेरा बहुत बड़ा रोल है इस कंट्री के अंदर to create that impact of new India. मेरे ड्रीम्स मेरे को उठा के रखते हैं हमेशा. मैं सोता 4 बजे हूँ रात को रोज, आज भी.
Wow.
I am regular 4 a.m. sleeper.
He sleeps at 4 a.m. every day.
Every day I sleep
And
at 4
I
a.m.
wake up at
But
4 a.m.
dream तो
every day.
सोने के बाद
You
आता
wake
है
up
ना.
वही तो कह रहा हूँ, मेरा सपना इतना
ये
रियल है
chicken
मेरे
and
लिए.
egg problem है.
मेरा सपना इतना रियल है मेरे लिए. मतलब I am very
You
hardworking
wake up
guy.
at 4,
Yeah,
you
I-
sleep at
I
4.
sleep
Yes.
at 4. Yeah.
It's also because of their weak bladders.
Okay, all of you have incredible stories, right? Of sort of creating what you have. So, agar you know how much Bollywood likes biopics, I want you to select who will play you. Vineeta, who would play you?
Wow.
In a Bollywood
Biopic.
You're asking some tough questions today.
I would love Deepika Padukone because she's married to Ranveer, who's our investor, and she's also a great inspiration. I, love the fact that she's also a badminton player like I was.
Me? Myself.
Oh, too much! Anupam in and as.
He's done a few Bollywood movies as a main
Not a few.
lead.
I've done one movie.
Lead, he was
It's
the
not-
lead.
not a
He's
Bollywood.
really good.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know this.
It's not a Bollywood film. It was.
I know he had
independent.
aspirations in acting.
No, he did do acting in 2 films and 1 you were the lead, right?
Yeah, but it's not Bollywood. It's like an independent film.
So you are an actor and you can
Yes.
just be yourself.
No, I wouldn't say I'm an actor. I'm terrible at it.
Oh dear. Then might as well delegate it.
My
huh?
my authentic self is far better than my acting self.
Authentic acting कर लेना भाई.
Peyush, who would play you?
I think it has to be a first comer, right? Who has never acted before.
Huh.
Somebody has to give that person a break. So he's also all in. But yeah, I would say they should be fresh audition. No celebrity.
You know how hard that is, no?
It's okay. I mean, we're all about taking risk here.
That's
so-
right. Correct.
I would not want a celebrity to do.
Anamika.
Okay.
Sinha.
You
Yeah.
want a new person
Yeah.
to do. Okay. And Amit, for you?
मेरी कहानी के अंदर मैं खुद एक्ट करना चाहूँगा कि मेरे को लगता है कि काफी इमोशन के थ्रू गुजरी है.
हाँ.
और मैं काफी फील करता हूँ.
आप
बड़े सारे
डायरेक्टर बन
success
जाओ, ये
stories
एक्टर पूरा सेट तैयार है.
और अगर आप वैसे
अच्छा.
पूछोगे कोई नाम लेना जरूरी है, 300 करके मूवी है, उसमें
हाँ.
जो स्पार्टन्स दिखाए हैं ना,
Correct.
तो 300 लोग जो लड़ रहे हैं 10 लाख की आर्मी से, तो हमारे उस टाइप की स्टोरी है. बिना फंडिंग के हमने 7 साल कंपनी चलाई है. तो वो वाली जो कहानी मैं उससे बहुत रिलेट करता हूँ. यहाँ पर बहुत कम लोग बहुत बड़ी आर्मी से लड़ रहे हैं, बहुत कम पैसे की कंपनी गैरेज से चल रही है और एकदम फंडेड कंपनी से लड़ रही है. उस टाइप की कहानी है हमारी, थोड़ी फाइटर. मैं उससे बहुत रिलेट करता हूँ. तो मे बी द स्टार इन दैट शुड बी इफ आई हैव टू नेम समबडी.
How lovely. How lovely.
Actually, you know what? I did do a movie playing myself.
Which was?
It's called Anupam Ki Shaadi. It's a 3-minute film
Oh,
where we
yeah.
told the story of how Shaadi.com was created. And we were first going to do it with an actor. But then the director said, why don't you play yourself 20 years back? So we had to actually go back 20 years and recreate. So I had to shave and everything.
So you've already had practice. You can do
I
it.
just did it. I just realized.
अब
Correct.
3 minutes को 3 hours करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
इतना material नहीं है मेरे पास.
You know, this show generated a sort of a torrent of memes, right? I want to ask the three of you,
Yeah.
what's the favorite meme of yourself that you've seen out there?
Wow.
I have very few. I can answer it quickly. Mine
Please.
is उनको हम handle कर लेंगे.
इन्वेस्टर्स को जब तू बोल रही थी कि उनको
हाँ.
हम हैंडल कर लें.
अच्छा.
Someone was telling me that कि हमारे investors है तो evaluation नहीं चलेगी इस बात से. उनको हम handle कर लेंगे.
Correct. I know. I've seen it. Anupam and Peyush?
My favorite is a picture walked in, I said, "Welcome to Lenskart." And that became a meme. So that's my favorite. And it was like I was in the zone, and I'm usually in the zone, and this entrepreneur walked in, and we're supposed to say welcome to Shark Tank. And I was like, welcome to Lenskart. I didn't even realize. And it went on, and like everybody started laughing. Then I realized, okay, what I just said.
That's fab.
Living your brand and your company. That's what it's called. I think for me, it was something very strange. I actually use this sometimes. ये बात मैं digest नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, politicians are using it. Political parties are using it. The police was using it for something. So it's weird how something so innocuous can become a meme.
Yeah. And just take a life of its own.
Yeah.
So, Amit, this is of course your first season, right? Or in पे तो pressure नहीं था because nobody had expectations, but now there are great expectations because the first season was such a blockbuster. What are you most afraid of? Nothing. You're a cool operator.
मैं दिल से करता हूँ काम. लाइफ के अंदर मेरे को एक्सटर्नल वैलिडेशन नहीं चाहिए होती. मैं अपने अंदर बिलीव करता हूँ, अपने हैप्पीनेस की जर्नी में बिलीव करता हूँ. मैं तो सोशल मीडिया भी नहीं पढ़ता फ्रैंकली, क्योंकि मेरे को इम्पैक्ट ही नहीं होता ये सब चीज़ों से. मैं इस शो में यहाँ आया नहीं हूँ कि मेरे को कोई डर लगे. मैं आया हूँ यहाँ पर इंडिया के लिए मैं क्या कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता हूँ उसके लिए. मेरा नज़रिया लाइफ का बहुत डिफरेंट है. एक जॉइंट फैमिली में भी रहता हूँ, तो बहुत खुश छोटे शहर में लाइफ है मेरी, जयपुर में. आई एम अ वेरी डिफरेंट गाय, नॉट अफ्रेड एट ऑल.
Not at all. Do you guys have sort of moments of like, damn, can we replicate that success? Yeah, Anupam?
Yeah, look, मेरा ये मानना है कि जो सीजन 1 था उसमें एक innocence था. There was an innocence, right? Because we were all new to it. The pictures were new to it. The country was new to it. And of course, you can never recreate that innocence because innocence is what it is. It only happens initially. But उसमें वो magic भी था. तो अब ये लगता है कि वो तो नहीं होगा दोबारा, लेकिन what magic, what miracle will we find this time? I think the show is much more wholesome. It's more impactful. People love our arguments and going at each other. तो वो भी बहुत है. But I certainly am a little nervous about expectations. But I'm excited at the same time.
I walked into season 2 feeling a lot of pressure that, season 1's bar was so high and season 2 is always like, has that expectation. But I think by the end of it, I'm quite relieved because the quality of stories, the quality of, the drama and the theatrics in the pitches themselves, forget our chemistry, which was great because, all of us knew each other and we got to know Amit quite quickly. But all of that, I feel, is really going to set season 2 on fire. So I think it's a bigger season in terms of the investments, companies, the drama, and hence now I feel that a bit at ease that I think it's going to be bigger and grander. But yeah, when we started shooting, I was like,
I think I watched Shark Tank a lot, right? Before I became an entrepreneur, while I was becoming an entrepreneur, and I watched it quite obsessively. Like I would have watched all seasons multiple times.
Wow.
And to be honest, it didn't matter to me anything but whether what's the business, what's the entrepreneur, whether he or she will get a deal or not, right? And that mattered most. And second, and that engagement of listening to a business, because as an entrepreneur, and I'm talking from one consumer segment as an entrepreneur. And the second was what happened to this business after it got the deal, right? And I think, I don't know what will happen to season 2 or not, but in the long term, what will happen to Shark Tank will really depend on what will happen to the businesses we invested in. And if they can do well and we can make a difference, then it sets a pattern, it sets a hope that change can happen. I don't think sharks are hero of this show. And in US also, I've seen sharks come and go. In Descent, there are always guest sharks. They called Richard Branson, and so many other TV celebs have also come. But what mattered in the pitch in that 1 hour was the business, the entrepreneur, and whether they got a deal and did somebody back them. And I think that happened a lot this season. Um, I have shared this with everybody here. I have zero concerns. And in the long term, as long as businesses continue to get funded and they do well, that's what India needs, hope.
Yeah, and you know, it's going to send a very strong message, not just to India, but the world. In an environment where startup funding has dropped by 60-70% globally and in India, season 2 is we've invested comparable to global Shark Tanks, much more than season 1, and much more in each company, and number of deals is that much more. So it's sending a message: India is open for business.
How lovely. So right now you're all much, much poorer.
Big
That's why
time.
we were hoping you're not going to pitch today.
Or richer in the long term.
Or richer in the long term,
I
indeed.
would say we are richer, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowledge is more. I have learned a lot from the
Yeah.
show. So many people came. Learning से measure करना चाहिए richness को.
Correct, correct. I agree. Absolutely. Tell me, for the three of you, you know, there was some criticism last season. Ki sometimes the sharks were too sharky, for lack of a better word.
In what way? In terms of feedback or the equity
In terms of
percentage?
feedback, not equity, just in terms of just what was said
Yeah.
to contestants. Is that a conversation that happened this time? Ki, you know, where do you draw the line? I don't know. Look, you're also, finally, it is entertainment. It
Exactly.
is supposed to be drama. It is supposed to be fun. But, you know, where do you sort of draw the line of यहाँ तक बोल सकते हैं, उसके बाद नहीं?
I think all of us are entrepreneurs first, and then investors, and we've all been in that situation of the picture. So I think generally, just kindness and empathy comes naturally. There are sometimes an entrepreneur comes in where they're really clueless about what they're doing, and they need to be like sort of shaken up a bit, and that's when the feedback sometimes gets harsh. But I think overall, we weren't told anything. We were just told to be ourselves. But our natural self is to be, you know, empathetic and to give them something to mull over, but not get so discouraged that they, you know, have like mental health issues or things like
Sure.
that. Because we've all gone through that, you know, rejections. I mean, each of us have been rejected 100 times, or if not more. I think the criticism, whatever you do, there will be. I mean, this is just one of the things that was criticized. The other was too much drama, too much negotiation, open conversations around money, very different from, you know, the global Shark Tank. Very, you know, what are these sharks doing in terms of just making a mockery out of like a serious business conversation? So, I mean, anything you do, there will always be criticism. And if it's in public light, there'll be a lot more of it. So you have to just, like, again, the showrunner told us, just be yourself. And that's all we're being.
I think this is season 2. And I think in season 1, if you think that was too sharky, I think there's a thing or two coming. Because the expectation from founders is that you'll be prepared. So I think we gave a lot of leeway. I'm not going to talk about specific sharks, but as a team, I think we gave a lot of leeway to people in a lot of pitches last year. This year, you might see that change a little bit. But in terms of your question about drawing the line, I think there's a difference between being critical and insulting somebody.
Sure.
You might have a bad idea or a bad business or a terrible business plan, but that doesn't make you a bad person. So I think everybody here draws the line in terms of criticizing your business and your idea and your plan, and to give you a reality check and to show you the mirror, because this is season 2. But I will not say something personal about somebody because they had a bad idea or they didn't think through things, right? And I think that's the difference.
So it's exactly like how you do your reviews. You're a great actor, like great concept, but this movie was terrible. That's how we say. Great founder, love what your passion is, but this business sucks.
See, I
Humiliating somebody
No,
is not
agree.
yeah.
is
I
not
agree.
acceptable.
It's not.
And
It's
anybody
not.
who does that does not deserve a seat on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's called Shark Tank, Dragon Tank, I don't care. But you don't get to do that and get away.
But I do think that, and I agree with Anupam. I think nothing substitutes respect for the individual, right? There's no. I don't think that's negotiable. But I do think that, and a point that Anupam mentioned about innocence, right? What happens is that now we as sharks have watched season 1, right? And whether we like it or not, we know what people like, right? And but the reality of the show and the greatness of the show is as much, and I've said this to Sony also a lot of times, right? This is a real show, and people should know it's a real show, but we should also be real. We should be ourselves. The more we are ourselves, and this whole paranoia about whether the show would be a hit or not, if entrepreneurs are real, sharks are real, they can state how they think, and everybody brings a different perspective. That's the beauty of the show.
Yeah.
And we should be respectful, but we should also say what we really feel versus what may look good on TV, is I would say.
Yeah, that's important.
You know,
And I ask this for the benefit of all those hundreds of thousands of people who will be pitching to you as you eat golgappas or go to the loo. What's the one thing that's most attractive about a pitch, and what's the biggest turn off? Like, matlab, aap bilkul hi shut down ho jate ho as soon as someone
so the
says
most attractive is the entrepreneur, right? If the
person.
More
entrepreneur
attractive,
impresses
she
you,
is better.
sorry.
More attractive, she is better. It is.
No,
Or
no,
he
but I
is.
think if the entrepreneur is impressive, right, and they are on top, you can. Entrepreneur ki jo energy hoti hai, that is infectious, right? If they are passionate, you suddenly get energy in the room. Everybody is energetic, and so I think that just changes the mood. That's the excitement, and then business idea, equity deal, ho na ho, and may a lot of things come into the picture. But that seeing somebody stand there and really talking with passion of what they want to do, and you're reminiscing your own journey, it's just infectious, and you get goosebumps sometimes.
nice.
मैं खुद पिक्चर्स को देखता हूँ जब यहाँ आते हैं, मेरे को अपनी कहानी याद आती है इतने सारे पिक्चर्स को देख के, रियली मतलब, और इतना इंस्पायरिंग लगता है मेरे को लगता है कि इसको जो देख रहे होंगे और जब इतने सारे लोग इनके जैसे होंगे, इतना इंस्पिरेशनल होगा ये, मेरे को इंस्पायर कर रहे हैं यहाँ बैठ के इस चेयर में, तो इमेजिन करो कंट्री को क्या इम्पैक्ट कर रहा होगा. दैट इज द बेस्ट पार्ट.
मैं तो पिच से निकल के इमीडिएटली व्हाट्सएप शुरू कर देता हूँ, यार हम क्या कर रहे हैं, वो देखो 6 महीने में बना लिया है, हम 2 साल से लगे हुए हैं, उसने 5 लाख में बना लिया, हमारा 50 लाख में भी नहीं बना. ये होता है एक अच्छे एंटरप्रेन्योर.
And what's the big turn off? Matlab, where do you just shut off?
देखिए मेरे लिए तो attractiveness तब है when the picture comes and I realize very early on that they want me as an investor, and turn off is when I realize they don't. नहीं, but no, I think the turn off actually तब होता है जब preparedness नहीं होता. I think it's season 2. Fundamentals अगर आप नहीं,
Homework करके आओ.
मतलब market size कितना है, how will you grow, how will you return investors money? If you don't have that level of clarity, then I don't think you deserve a slot on Shark Tank.
For me, I think like if somebody doesn't know some number, that's still okay. But lack of transparency, or like a dishonesty that you feel
वो
when
तो
they're making up
I would
stuff,
agree.
or that they are lying, or trying to hide something, that is the biggest turn off, because it's at the end of the day you're taking a gut decision in those few minutes, and the one thing you want to be able to do is that you can trust this person.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
I would
I
change my
just
answer
wanna-
to Vineeta's answer, because that's exactly the biggest turn off.
Yeah.
In few ones I had actually.
Yeah,
I think
and I just want to add, sorry, on the attractiveness part. Like, this is, for a lot of us, and especially for Namita and I think we're very openly biased towards women. And that is a huge thing, because it's just given where the statistics are, 14% of founders in India are women, 1.5% get funding. It is very hard for that person to get there. And if she's come there, she's broken a lot of taboos and a lot of resistance to get there. So you already know there is a fighter because she has had to work harder against,
Sure.
so upbringing, lack of support system, lack of funding to get there. So you already have one box checked. And I think, I've seen all of them also invest. And, I feel that there is that you go into it knowing that there is a fighter standing over there, and that is attractive.
Yeah.
For me, the biggest disappointment is when, and it doesn't happen often, but there are entrepreneurs who come who are very arrogant. They're full of themselves. They've come here only to market. They don't care about listening. They are just, they don't even want to listen. And they just want to speak. And they want to do marketing of their product. And they're not respectful towards sharks. So, आप बात कर रहे हो वो acknowledge भी नहीं करेंगे. Right? So for me, it's like, why have you come here? It's not about money. It's about you come here for feedback before anything else.
Okay, last question. How has this experience changed you? What has it done to you?
आई थिंक इस एक्सपीरियंस की बात है ना, मैं बहुत ही अलग नज़रिए से जा रहा हूँ. भारत क्या बनने वाला है, मैं हमेशा बुलिश होता था इंडिया के बारे में. वो विश्वास 100 गुना बढ़ गया जब मैं देखता हूँ ना हर घर में एंटरप्रेन्योर बन रहा है. और आप देखो, मैंने जब इन्वेस्टमेंट भी किया ना, शो में जब आएगा, मैंने कुछ ऐसी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट की जो होती थी जिससे मेरा पैसा बहुत नहीं बना, पर मेरे को ये पता है कि इसमें इन्वेस्ट करने का एक रीज़न है इम्पैक्ट. इसकी जैसे लाखों इन्वेस्टमेंट, लाखों स्टार्टअप और चालू हो जाएंगे इसी प्रकार के. ये सब अपने आप में विश्वास करेंगे कि इनका हो सकता है तो हम क्यों नहीं. तो मेरे को लगता है कि वो एक भारत को आगे बढ़ाने वाला जो मेरा जज्बा है वो बहुत अच्छे से यहाँ पूरा करके जा रहा हूँ. बहुत ही सेटिस्फाइड है.
Nice.
तो मेरा खुद का बहुत बड़ा मानना है कि इंडिया को अगर डेवलप्ड कंट्री बनना है, डेवलप्ड नेशन बनना है, तो वीमेन विल हैव टू जॉइन द वर्कफोर्स. एंड विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज द बेस्ट वे. और यहाँ बहुत सारे आपको दिखेंगे हाउसवाइफ्स हैं, बड़े स्ट्रगलिंग एनवायरनमेंट में उन्होंने अपनी कंपनीज बनाई हैं. मैं उन कॉजेस को भी बहुत सपोर्ट करता हूँ.
How lovely.
See, to be honest, I'm a Piscean and I'm an emotional guy, quite emotional. And whatever I do, I get into it in the sense. And these people were just talking about that I only loosen up in the last finale.
Yeah.
So I took up Lens Card and I'm very emotional about it. Not as a business, but and then family I'm very emotional about.
And curious.
Huh?
And curious. His name is Utsuk Bansal on the show. He asks so many questions.
अभी क्या हो गया ना, सीजन 1 में आ गए थे शॉक में, अब सीजन 2 हो गया है, तो दिस हैज बिकम लाइक अब एक फैमिली थी, एक बेबी था, अब एक और ये अब अटैचमेंट हो गया है. सो नाउ इट इज नॉट अबाउट द शो सक्सेस. इट्स वो अनुपम ने एक लाइन कही थी शुरू में, विद ग्रेट प्रिविलेज कम्स ग्रेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. सो नाउ दिस हैज कन्वर्टेड इनटू more than just, it's not about me anymore. And now this has become about, okay, I have this privilege. Yeah. And there are so many people looking up to me. And what to do? Even if I don't have the time, I have to take out the time. I have to take care of this baby also. Because इतना सोचा नहीं था मैंने कि लोग actually आपको इतना look up करते हैं. You know, the role of inspiration is big. Right? I became an entrepreneur because of my one meeting with Bill Gates in Redmond. And that's when the penny dropped for me. And now मैं वही देख रहा हूँ कि मेरे वजह से वो हो रहा है. तो अब मैं इसको पकड़ना ना भी चाहूँ तो मुझे अब पकड़ के रखना पड़ेगा because for that person. And so that's a shift that is happening to me right now. कि यार अब इससे निकल नहीं सकते, ये करना है. Look at that person, उसका क्या होगा? So it's become like a moral, it's gone into that zone for me. And now for me, the challenge is that when I get into it, I get into it, right? I can't just do it as a side thing, right? अभी दिमाग का एक हिस्सा ले लिया है उसने, तो वो change आ गया. अभी how it will play out, you know, it's a big change. I never anticipated. Season 2 के end तक तो ये बड़ा change आ गया मेरे में, and I'll see how it plays out. You know, somebody is asking me yesterday कि अभी season 2 चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, क्या करेंगे. मैंने कहा अभी तो ये करना है बॉस, अभी करना ही है, अभी मैं तो नहीं निकल पाऊंगा अब इससे.
For you, Anupam?
I've become famous.
That you have. That you have.
Now I agree with Amit and Peyush, but so I don't want to repeat what they just said, but I think it's impacted our families quite a bit as well. और उनका बलिदान काफी है.
Agreed.
हम ये 3 महीने आते हैं यहाँ पर, इतना टाइम लगता है. वीकेंड्स हम यहाँ देते हैं, वीकडेज हम ऑफिस जाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम एक्टर्स हैं कि एक पिक्चर कर ली, ब्रेक ले लिया, फिर घर चले गए. हमें हमारा काम भी संभालना है. तो मेरी वाइफ आंचल या माई डॉटर लाइसा, माई पेरेंट्स, माई सिस्टर्स, बच्चे सभी का इतना बलिदान है, क्योंकि ये 3 महीने तो छोड़िए, इसके बाद भी हमारे वीकेंड्स अभी ये फाउंडर्स के हो गए. उनकी सहायता करनी, उनकी मदद करनी. सो I think it's having a deep impact on them, and somewhere, they are also realizing the impact and the level of contribution we are making, and therefore supporting us. So
It's true.
I think that's an important point. For me personally, besides what was already said, when you're a child, you have a sense of wonder about the world. आप कोई भी चीज देखते हैं तो you start wondering. Like I remember when I was very young, the first time I saw snail, I remember very specifically. I watched that snail for what seemed like an eternity. But you lose that as you grow up, you become cynical in business and so on. I felt that same feeling again when my daughter was born. And I think when I see some of these pictures who come on Shark Tank, that sense of wonder and innocence somewhere reignites at some point. And I think it's very important to hold on to that in your life. Right? Be a child and the world will be a playground. So I'm trying to hold on to it.
Nice.
Yeah. So for me, of course, adding to what they said, the fact that 8-year-old girls can come up to me and say they want to be entrepreneurs, I feel is, just that's all life is. I mean, that's, just being able to, when I grew up, there was a lack of role models, and little girls today will not have that. And that's a huge honor. But the bigger change that has come in me, honestly, is that I've become bolder in terms of risks. So, we have whatever net worth, etc. But we're very middle class at heart because of our upbringing. So, making a decision to sign a check of 1 crore in a few minutes is still hard. In our business, I don't think we do, because you're sitting here with like 30-40% information at that time, and you have to make a decision to put your own 1 crore investment. So I remember first season, like even signing like 50 lakh checks, I used to see my husband's face, my dad's face judging me, saying that, are you sure you're making this decision? But this season, I feel myself taking bigger risks, bolder bets. And I think it's going to have a larger ripple effect on the way I, live, the way I run my business, the way I do everything. Because, I feel at some level, I'm still afraid of failing, and that these risks just have an overall impact in how bold I am.
Oh, lovely.
हाँ, विनीता और मैं बात कर रहे थे, लोगों के, we're talking about fame. लोग आते हैं बात करने, सेल्फीज लेने, उनके हाथ ऐसे कांपते हैं that they cannot even take the selfie. You have to take the phone sometimes and do the selfie, right? You can let that go to your head, or you can realize the humility in that. कि भाई इतना moral obligation हो गया अभी एक तरह से, that people are worshipping founders and entrepreneurs as heroes.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we never ever in our 15-20 years of entrepreneurial journey, we ever thought we'll live to see a day where entrepreneurs are celebrated like, not like, but, somewhere in the league of stars and
Absolutely.
cricketers.
Even
and all of
my
that.
mom, there's someone who does the laundry service, this lady, and she comes every day, takes the clothes, does laundry and bring it back. And her son lives very far, right? I think in another city, and is working, young boy, right? And she said कि मेरे को एक ही चीज चाहिए, my son wants to come and meet Peyush, right? And then I was busy with work. I kept ignoring it. But then one day I was just sitting, and she walked up to me and says, "Bhaiya, please, I I want you to meet my son." And then I said, "आप बुलाओ, अभी बुलाओ." Right? वो आ जाएगा अभी दो घंटे में आएगा. आ गया. And then I could see, boss, the hope that person had, and he came immediately. 2 hours flat, he came in. I can't remember कहाँ से आया था, but it was like outside Delhi, in the outskirts. And he left his job, and पूछा आज कुछ सब कुछ छोड़ के वो आ गया बात करने. वो पढ़ रहा है, I think, दिल्ली के बाहर. तो मैंने कहा क्लास वो कह रहा है वो सब कर लूंगा, अभी आपसे मिलना था. So that, I think, is powerful, right, in terms of what it can do to people. Right?
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, more power to all of you, and cannot wait to see season 2. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Gonna
you.
kill it.
Subscribe
To
Film.
Companion.
now.
Now.